Welcome to Brotherhood of Healing, the podcast devoted to supporting veterans in health, resources, and in life after the uniform. Here we share inspiring stories, valuable information, practical advice to help our veterans thrive beyond their service. Whether you're seeking guidance, community, or simply want to hear from those who understand your journey, you're in the right place. Thank you for your service and welcome to the Brotherhood of Healing. Tying on target now. Welcome to the show. This is our very first episode of our Brotherhood of Healing podcast. And today we have Derek Hennepin with us. He is a fitness instructor and coach. He has helped veterans in the community attain their desired goal, weight goal, as well as helping them regain strength and getting them back to their fighting weight, basically. Welcome, Derek.
Thanks, Mark. Quick intro, born and raised Phoenix, Arizona. Went to Shadow Mountain High School, graduated 2005. Sports was always my life. I started training for that, getting ready for Pop Warner football. Wanted to be strong, knew the benefits of being strong. Right out of high school, started working the bars. I was a bouncer for about a decade in pursuit of getting my EMT. My ideal job was to be on the fire department, and in pursuit of that, I trained my whole life. And when I accomplished that, we'll just go through that. As I was getting ready to be an EMT, I actually broke my leg in half, and that redirected my career path.
So basically, that kind of life happens just the way it's supposed to sometimes, Derek.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that was kind of like the catalyst that kind of threw you off the rails.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
but it also made you stronger. It also made you, who you are today. So I think that's a very good takeaway. Really, sometimes bad things happen to good people for a reason, and we can't see what that reason is often. And this, I think, is probably one of those. But I am personally very grateful for because not only as he helped veterans, me included, it's been a real journey from where you were injured to the point where you competed at shows. And,
absolutely.
And tell us a little bit more about that.
Oh man, with the shows, I've done 5 shows, and that was a struggle after the break. But it teaches you to do what you can. Everyone has their problems. Training has always kept my mind right, though, with that.
But you don't just train adults. You also train little ones as well. I understand.
Absolutely.
In
between sports, everything in between, all age groups. How's going on with that?
Well, you're telling us that how you all the things that you do and how you got to that point, right? So you're currently, where do you work out of?
So right now I'm currently at Anytime Fitness on Cave Freak in Union Hills, working there 6 days a week.
Sounds like your dance card is pretty full.
I try to keep busy with clients.
Sure.
That's the idea anyway. It keeps me busy. Start early in the morning, 4 o'clock.
Did you always want to be a trainer? What was your inspiration for becoming what you became right now? Did you always want to do this, or I know you mentioned being a firefighter.
That was my first dream job.
Okay.
I just wanted to help, and that incorporate my passion some way with that. When I broke the leg, it was a blessing in disguise, and then I ended up getting to help people that want to help themselves, and that was with training. And that's what I realized is this is what I meant to be doing. They're saving lives in a different way.
Right.
And
100%.
if I could do it over again, I would. Because now I'm truly doing what I'm meant to do. And that's including my passion, and I get to save lives still, but just in a different way.
Sure, absolutely. So, what would be like the dream job for you? What would be like the thing that you say, "Yeah, I've arrived," or is that now? Is that happening?
You know what? I'm living my dream job now. It's just I would like to make a few adjustments.
Okay. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, I love getting up before the alarm. My clients give me that reason. They're my inspiration. They help me just as much, if not more, than I help them.
Okay.
My problem, just like everyone else, is financial reasons.
Sure.
In this business, clients come and go, so it's trying to make ends meet. I had a second job, and I worked myself to a hernia. Don't need to get into that, but I know the benefits of your health when you have it versus not. Staying healthy and strong will allow you to do other areas in life, be with your kids, go to the beach, whatnot, go to the mountains, go on your hunts, which I'm getting ready for. Those things to keep you full, get you awake for the alarm, and that's your why. I know I have mine, but just like everyone else, I have my problems too. That fitness and working out, that keeps you grounded, allows you to do those other areas well.
What stresses you? What would be the thing that kind of stresses you out? Aside from this,
aside from the
this,
camera,
the camera and the audience,
and lack of hairline, traffic. I think that's common in crowds. Sure. But given my background, I was a bouncer for a decade, over 10 years. So it's not a matter of if, it's when something happens. Sure. And you can relate. You ride on a motorcycle, so the more traffic, there's more chances of something going on. And I have been in an accident, several accidents, a rollover accident, rear-ended and sideswiped on the bike. So those are all, I got very lucky. Actually.
Yeah, I think you covered all of them. I don't think there's any other type of accident.
Compound fracture, rollover accident, sideswipe, rear end. That's it. There's a few other ones, but
well, there's no more. Listener, let's just say that you've done them all, and we're done with those. All right, well, good. So your life goals. One of the things that you and I discussed privately was to possibly at some point, and I remember, and I thought this was such an amazing idea on your part, of being mobile. I have like a mobile gym where you can go to people's homes that are either for whatever reason they're homebound, and you can help them get the strength and conditioning that they need at the discretion of their own home. I thought that was such an amazing idea. Having your own logo, have your own van with all your equipment that you need in it. You had just to roll it out like one of those little.
With all the mobile nurses, the mobile IVs, the mobile Uber Eats, everything. I think people like that, and it just makes it that much more personal, one-on-one. I could even have their music, and it's just all customized that much more. I think that would go over very well. Now, of course, I have to make ends meet, and whether or not getting the truck and the transportation, the equipment.
But these are all challenges.
Will, there's a way, for sure. And okay. I know I'll do that in time.
I just think that's such a great idea. One of the things that I wanted to mention was that, you were saying something about how you're saving lives. And I can tell you straight up that, working out 2 or 3 times a week is really, it equates to one antidepressant. So you imagine soldiers or folks who are in the military, or not, doesn't have to be in the military, that suffer some significant trauma, that are depressed, they're anxious, and you're going to them to be able to help them, not only from, they're going to read to behavioral health, they're doing that sort of thing, but you're also helping with that goal, with the end goal is to rejoin society again, because one of the things that happens when you're depressed is isolation. And when you're isolated, and that's what can go down a very, very dark, slippery slope, So I thought that was really cool that you said that, you mentioned that in your conversation with me. Any regrets? from your life and things that you've done? You can share with us.
Oh,
Any regrets?
anyone,
Except for that tattoo that says no regrets.
yeah, right. Anyone that says there's no regrets in your life, I think is kind of foolish. In the way you can make regrets, but you learn from them.
Sure.
But I'd tell you that my biggest regret is I didn't ask enough questions in school. I think that's kind of common with people. You're too afraid to look like the fool, but to be successful, you can't be afraid to be a fool. I would have raised my hand more in class for sure, and that would have helped other people to get the answer to that question that they didn't know. But working out helped with the confidence there. I realized the older I got, I wasn't afraid to look like a fool. I'll ask it, and hey, now I know that I don't have to ask that question again. That's right. Jordan Peterson said, I refer to him, but foolish questions only one time, and then you don't have to ask it again.
Well, in the military, we kind of kept we didn't want to ask questions because that brought attention to yourself. So the idea, especially like in basic training, we would kind of keep our questions to a minimum because the last thing we want to do is stay longer doing something we didn't want to do. So there's always that one guy in the background. I have a question. Oh, Jesus, here we go. And it was actually a really good question, probably. But
get out of here.
I just want to get out of these booths, So that was one of the reasons in the military we didn't volunteer for anything, okay, and don't ask questions.
Yeah,
just go with it.
Let's just go with it.
Yeah, that's how we messed up a lot of things because we didn't ask questions.
Yeah, so I think everyone can relate to that. Should. But outside of that, breaking the leg, actually, that's not, I don't regret that. It's a blessing in disguise, actually got me to doing what I'm doing now. Yeah. And it's all for the best.
What is the most difficult patient? I mean, or patient or client? What is the thing that is the most difficult for you to get through to?
Someone that's not coachable. I can tell you already right now that has their idea and they're just coming to go through the motions and say that they went through a trainer, but that it didn't work. It did. You didn't. I'm sorry to say, but
so at least so in medicine, we provide medications to patients, right? We do things for them, and but there's a big component that is the patient base. Same thing. I imagine the same thing applies to folks who are trained or need to be trained. It's not just going to the gym twice a week or 3 times a week. It's also what you do after that. It's washing the food. It's meal prepping, preparing things, and doing things like that. I know that's such a big component with your part of your training that you also provide your clients with nutritional guides and things that they could do just to get them started. And I think that's key. I don't think anybody really does that.
Thanks for bringing that up. I first to admit I'm not a nutritionist, but the 3 components of fitness are nutrition, resistance training, and cardio. To give you an idea, what the most important is, it would be 50% nutrition, 40% resistance training, and then 10% cardio. Everyone gets caught up in cardio, but it's the nutrition. You can't out-train a bad diet.
Yeah.
So we get that fixed, dialed in on you, assuming your goals. If you're a power lifter, it's not going to be a cutting diet. So I got to feel you out first and know your goals. We get that, and then we get you on the training. And then we talk about cardio down here. But realistically, I don't have you do any cardio, do I? So,
well, I mean, I walk to the water fountain.
That's about it.
Every time that you add more plates on the bar.
Yeah.
It's kind of the thing is, what the listeners don't understand is that I've known Derek for close to 10 years now. And we've been not only where he's been one of my trainers, and of course he's been also a very dear friend. And it's always so good to have you. It's always so good to see you and to train with you. I have not had a single injury. That is kind of a key thing that I have to mention. I've had trainers in the past where we do certain things, and all of a sudden my back gives out or my knee gives out or something, and I'm laid up for weeks at a time without being able to train. So it's kind of like you make some gains, but you also lose them because you're not doing anything. Since I've been working out with you, it's been close to 8 years now. I think I don't remember a single injury that I've ever had that would require me to stop training, which is says a lot about you, Derek, and I really appreciate that. I want you to love that.
Wonderful. I like the main concern is the safety, but still being effective. There's progressive overload, and then you can make the weight feel heavier. And I find that that's the way to do it and form the proper rep range.
Yeah.
Damn, that's it.
I joke around, but I could always tell. I could always tell when you were getting ready to do a show, because your fuse is this short. You're right now 45. I'm like, oh.
Well, I think they call that hangry, guilty of it. But it doesn't have to be that extreme, though. I want everyone to know that you can just be conscious of what you're eating and make dramatic results.
Yeah.
It's just with all the food diets and the fads out there, it's really hard to get confused. They're really easy to get confused. But it's keep it simple. It's easy to shop for. But it's not easy. You got to make a day or 2 days during the week to meal prep.
Right.
That's the key. And then to know what to eat and what not to eat. And you'll be good. But it's not 5 days a week in the gym, 2 to 3. That's it. And then the rest is in the kitchen.
How has COVID, how has COVID affected your business and your
A good question. At that time, I was in the studio. I was working at a private studio. So I actually got clients. I increased in clients because all the gyms were closed down. Now, when they opened back up, I retained the majority of my clients, but I relocated. It was about 20 miles difference, so I understand some clients, the majority of clients followed, but not all. But that's understandable. And that's where I'm at now.
Well, I guess it kind of gives that push forward, eventually getting to where you can be a mobile gym. We can go out there. I think that's just
I think that's a wonderful idea, and it's just a matter of time because it won't be just the vets. There's plenty of people that just have anxiety issues. It's along the lines of not wanting to ask the question, looking like a fool in the gym. I can come to you. I have my equipment. What's the problem now? The other issue with people is too far. You're too far. I'll come to you.
And I can say for myself, I've been to the gym without a plan and walking in there and saying, well, I'm going to do upper body. And then I said, well, I'm going to do lower body now because somebody's on that machine.
Yeah.
Or get in a machine and I'm trying to understand what this machine does. And then somebody goes, turn around.
Yeah.
You're the wrong way.
You had a
I was like, they're like, yeah, I like to do it this way. Like how.
Yeah, saw this on TikTok.
I don't want to do that. And that's one of the things that kind of deters people, I think, from actually going to the gym and that's where then they get there and they're like intimidated by all this stuff. Hundreds of people that are in better shape than them. They're like, oh man.
I tell you, I know gym's pretty good, but there's always that one piece of equipment where I'm not really sure, and it takes a couple times to hit the good girl, bad girl. But when you're with someone that sets you up for it,
nobody makes eye contact when they're in that machine. I want you to know that. Don't make eye contact.
Or get on your phone or something.
Oh, there's a lot of that. All right, well, fantastic. So we talked about several things. We talked about your ultimate goals. We talked about how you came, how you got to where you're at. We also talked about your philosophy of sports and what needs to happen in order to improve. We know all that, but how do our listeners get a hold of you? If they want it, if they're saying, "Hey, I like this guy. I think I'm going to be a good fit with him." How do they get a hold of you? What's the best way?
At this point, just email would be fine. That's Derek8640@gmail.com, or just shoot a Facebook on the social media platforms.
Okay.
And that's my name as well, Derrick, Derrick, and Hannifin, Hannifin. And I'll always respond to that message.
Okay.
And I'm leaving you a bunch of my business cards.
Right. All right. Perfect.
That's it.
Well, we'll definitely get some of those out. I really like to invite you and maybe some other clients at a different time to come back and just kind of reiterate this and see what we can do to help you. Because obviously, I would like to get you, to be able to help you with your business as well. And I think that by getting the word out there more, I think that's going to really kind of keep your dance card full, so to speak.
Absolutely. My schedule will be full, I know. Yeah, I look forward to that. And, that'll be a good opportunity for sure. For everyone.
Well, fantastic. Any questions you want to ask me? Anything I should have asked you?
Well, just with all your background, what's the biggest risk you've ever taken? Might have to think about that one.
Biggest risk. Okay, so I have one. One of the biggest risks I did, and it didn't pan out, was opening my own practice. And right before COVID, I decided that I was going to work for myself and have a physician supervise me, but open up my own practice. And that was a big risk. I've spent a lot of money getting that place set. I think you've seen it from that a couple of times. It was a great place, but COVID hit and it didn't pan out. So, I think that was a big risk that never pan out. But
Something with you opening your own business, right? That's a risk you take, but you don't succeed unless you take that risk. So.
Right. Absolutely. Okay. Well, that's it. That covers it for today. I appreciate you coming out.
Mark, thanks for having me. Really,
Absolutely. That was great.
Absolute pleasure.
Absolutely. All right, man.
Thank you.
You bet. All right. Well, folks, until next time, we will continue marching on and doing what we need to do. And remember, watch your six.
Thank you for tuning in to Brotherhood of Healing. If you're hearing this message, you've listened to the entire episode, and for that we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment and leave us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Your feedback helps us grow and bring you even better content. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep your powder dry and watch your six.